Hi, everyone. It's been a while since I've been able to do one of these, mostly because of the after effects of a second not so fun round with COVID, which I'm sure many of you will identify with. The thing I want to talk to you about today is something that's been a topic of conversation in my work, both in consults in the group, for quite some time and a lot recently. Namely, what does it mean to go upstream? What does it mean to not focus on behavior? And what is it like to notice how intensely our culture, our institutions, and people in general are wed to behavior focused models? From behaviorism just to the way we think about people and the way we talk about people and the things that we focus on. So today, I actually want to take a little diversion and invite you into a little bit more of a personal story. So some of you know that 3 years ago, a couple of weeks ago, my oldest and closest sister, whose name is Judy, died. I don't need to get into the details of it. It was very difficult. And I spent a month with her in the hospital in California, traveling there on an emergency basis from Atlanta, where I was visiting my daughter who was at university. By the way, as an aside, I am sitting right now in the chair where I often do much of my work in the living room in my house, with a picture behind me of myself and my mother. There's a bit of a reflection on it. This picture, this photograph framed, was a gift to me after my mother died from my daughter, who is now 23. She was a surprise and she had it made. By the same token, and I'm going to stand up, it's going to be a little jaggedy here for a minute. By the same token, there is a photograph right above it. It's right there. I'm going to come in a little closer. That is my sister Judy. My daughter also gifted that one to me after my sister died as well. May you all raise children who will do such kind and selfless things for you when things are hard for you. Today, as it so happens, is my sister Judy's birthday, which is what moves me to talk to you about this today. When I think of the time that I spent in the hospital with her, and indeed the religious figures, the rabbis who I spoke with at the time, and her friends, one of the things that kept coming up was the ways in which my sister Judy was challenging. And there is no doubt that she could be challenging. I can be challenging myself. But it was very predominant. And today, as I was thinking about her, I was thinking about not about those comments because there was nothing wrong with them. I'm not a big believer in overly glorifying people when they die. I'm appreciative of straightforward conversation about people's strengths and weaknesses. I know very well how she could be difficult. And today, as I was reflecting on the overlap between my experience of grief around her birthday and the anniversary of the date of her death, I was thinking about all of those comments and the overlap between those and the conversations we've been having in Visible Child about children's behavior. And I was also thinking of this well-known phrase that people in trauma work often use, which is encouraging us to shift our frame from what's wrong with that person to what happened to that person. In our case, when we're talking about children who may or may not have encountered or experienced trauma, maybe a better phrase is not what's wrong with them, but what's going on for them. And in that vein, as I thought about my sister today, as I am thinking about my sister today, I am thinking about how few, if any, people spoke to what was going on. We talked and laughed and commiserated about the ways that she was difficult, also the ways that she was generous, also the ways that she was funny, also about the ways she was emphatic. She was a very emphatic person. Big emotions, big expressions, very fond of saying fantastic. That's something she would say, so it gives you an idea of how emphatic she was. But no one talked about the fact that she was lonely. That throughout her life, she always wanted to have and dreamed of having a family that was very close-knit. The kind of family that went on reunions or that hung out together. We did not have that kind of family. How deeply she wanted to belong and how she never felt like she found her place. All of the regrets that she carried with her. The struggles that she experienced. We don't talk about those things. We talk about how she impacted us. And as the last few days have happened, and I've been talking with parents about behaviors that they want to stop, behaviors that are challenging for them, behaviors that schools don't like, I am drawn again back into quite a personal place that invites me, and by association, I invite you to shift our lens even now and again from how are they impacting us to what's going on for them. People ask me so often, what does going upstream mean? That's what it means. It means wondering what's going on for someone else rather than focusing on their behavior or how they impact us. So it's a little bit of a personal take on this topic today, a little diversion from how I usually do things, but I invite you to think about how these things have been true for you, how they are true for people you love, and how they take shape in your relationships with your kids. So I will see you next time. Some of you I will see in office hours. I look forward to that. We'll meet again. Bye-bye.